Hey guys, welcome to the Rec Room. The first time doing this. A little bit about myself, Andrew Rector, uh, Duke fan, Dallas fan, worked for the Dodgers, so also a Dodger fan. And immediately there goes the pooch. Um, but anyway, just want to talk a little bit about what's going on this week. It's March, so I want to talk about Duke. And so Duke plays Carolina tomorrow. Uh, we'll see how it goes. Last time Duke was in the situation where they were in the position to take over the number one ranking. We lost to Clemson a couple weeks ago. Also, last time we were head and shoulders above Carolina as far as talent goes, as far as the team goes. Same situation. Lost them a couple years ago. Remember that? Try to put it behind us. And Coach K's final outings against Carolina. So again, try to put that behind us. Carolina's playing really well, very confident. So I just want to be leery about their team. Also want to talk about the game against Wake Forest. I don't know what Wake Forest is trying to do defensively. They would double on every drive, even if the primary defender was doing well against the drive, they would double off, and that left an open shooter against a team that shoots 39% from behind the arc. I don't know what they were trying to do. They would double off on the post on Malawach, who's not a great offensive player in the post, and again would leave open shooters on the outside. Duke was cold to begin with. Once they start hitting, they are 39% from the outside. Eventually started to go against them. Don't expect Carolina to do that. They are not as big as they normally are on the inside, but I'm sure Hubert will figure out some way to muck it up and make things tough on Flag and Malawach, and especially Knipple, who's really tough with the ball in his hands. Nice to see Proctor back. He played okay against Wake Forest, shaking some rust off. I'm sure it'll be better against Carolina. Hearing a lot of buzz about Cooper Flag trying to come back or whatever. Heard a lot about that with Zion in 2019. Maybe it would have worked out better if he did come back in hindsight, but it would have taken him an extra year to get that Supermax in the NBA. And you're like, well, he's floundered a little bit, but he still got the Supermax extension in the NBA. And if he plays well now, like he's playing well right now, he's going to get to the next contract and still make a whole bunch of money. So it still worked out for him. Even it probably wouldn't have about as bad as it could for Zion. I wouldn't expect that to happen with Flag at the next level. So I would love for him to come back. NIL offsets it a little bit, but it's not the initial money. It's the second contract that he doesn't get to. That it waylays him a year to get to the second contract, which waylays him a year to get to the third contract, which is where you really start making your big money in the NBA. So wouldn't expect at all for Cooper Flag to come back, as much as it would be great to see him and Knipple and the rest of them. But again, load of recruiting class coming in. So Shire's got to clear the deck anyway. Shire and Rachel Baker, who phenomenal job. Can't say enough about her. And also glad to see that Hubert at Carolina's kind of seen the light and brought in a GM to take over there. So good to see that for Carolina. Don't want to see the rivalry go away. Would like to see Carolina stay competitive over in Chapel Hill. But anyway, on to Dallas. They got to figure out what's going on. Either tear it down to the studs, but obviously not going to do that. They just signed the defensive lineman Odigizua for 4 years. You're generally not going to sign a defensive lineman for 4 years. You're going to tear it down. Just signed CeeDee Lamb to extension, so not going to tear it down. If you're signing a wide receiver to extension, so I would suggest you got a lot of defensive free agents out there. You go focus on defense, muck it up, play like Sean Payton type ball, like you played in Denver. You got Dak. Focus on Dak until maybe 3 or 4 years from now. Maybe you can get a quarterback at the 10, 11, 12, 13 spot, build around him. But until then, focus on defense, try to build around defense, rebuild your offensive line, which has been decimated the last 3 or 4 years to injuries and retirements, Zach Martin especially. Build up your offensive line through the draft, and then go and get your quarterback, and then maybe you can finally have a potent offense like what you want to see if you're Jerry Jones. But Dallas is a mess right now. Hard to have your heart in them if you're a Dallas fan. Been a tough few years. I know it's a tough lineup of teams that I root for, by the way. I know it's Duke, but I grew up a Duke fan. Grandma went to Duke. I mean, it's just the way I grew up on Tobacco Road. I grew up a Duke fan. My dad from Dallas, he was a Cowboy fan, so I'm a Dallas fan. I work for the Dodgers, so that's why I'm a Dodger fan. So anyway, that's what I would do with Dallas. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I would love to see Ashton Jeanty. Love him as a player at Boise State, but I don't think you can. We just saw 10 years of Ezekiel Elliott where having a great running back didn't really do anything for you. You made it to the second round of the playoffs. That's it. So don't know that having a stud running back is going to do anything for you. To the Dodgers, it's going to be a crazy year. We've talked about what could happen. I don't know. There's an injury that could take them down. Like, even if Shohei goes down, I don't know what that could hurt them really. All right, you move Mookie back to the leadoff spot, and it'd have to be even with all the starting pitchers that were injured last season, it still didn't really deter them from doing what they did last season. So it's going to be a fun year with the Dodgers. It'll be fun to see what the new players, both that were already in the majors, do with the team, and the guys coming over from overseas do, and with Sasaki and what Yamamoto does in his second year, and then guys like Conforto, Rosario coming back, and then how the back end of the roster works out and who gets the 24th, 25th, 26th spots and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, just want to become my little intro into the Rec Room. I will try to do this every week and kind of break down what's going on. Looking forward to March Madness. Looking forward to the ACC tournament. The women's are going on right now. Quarterfinals. Duke Carolina is still in the quarterfinals, along with some other teams that are all going to make the NCAA tournament. So that's going to be fun. NC State's in the quarterfinals as well in the ACC tournament. UCLA, USC in quarterfinals in the Big Ten. So it's going to be fun on the women's side as well. Last thing, try to do this without cursing. We'll do this. You can find me. I'll be on the airwaves Saturday and Sunday. UCLA women's water polo. I'll be on the air. Go to UCLA.com. UCLA plays Cal on Saturday, and they'll play Indiana on Sunday, 11 a.m. 1 p.m. On Saturday, and 11 a.m. on Sunday is the start of those two matches. So check it out, UCLA.com. UCLA, or go. Let me find that website and make sure I got the correct website for you. 1 second. UCLABruins.com. You can find the women's water polo that I'll be calling. It'll be the first time I'll be calling UCLA women's water polo. It's going to be a fun one. But anyway, in the next week, hopefully I'll be doing the CCAA or the NCAA first round Division II at Dominguez Hills. So, but I will be calling somewhere next weekend. Anyway, it's going to be fun. Hopefully do this again every week, break down some other stuff other than Duke, Dodgers, and Dallas, but I want to start with the stuff that I really knew for the first time. Anyway, go Duke tomorrow. Should be a fun game. Don't expect it to be like the first game that would end up being, I think, an 18-point game, but Duke was up by 30-some at one point. Expect it to be a lot closer game than it was the first time, but that'll be a fun one. Anyway, have a great weekend and look forward to talking to you all next week.